Yo, what is up? What is up? It's me, it's Keen. We're back in the building with the second episode of the Philly Talk with Key. We got a great show for y'all today. We got the NFC East, the best division in football. We got the round table going on. I'm your host for today. I'm not going to be the analyst today, but we got some great content creators who represents each of the teams in the NFC East. And I'm going to start with my guy, the Cowboys fan. We got Cole's Cowboy. Cole's, what is going on, man?
What's good? Good. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Down representing the Philadelphia Eagles. We got my guy, Cool McCain, is in the building. What's going on, Cool?
What's going on? Let's go Philly. 2 in a row, baby.
All right, and then we got the Commanders. I know he's happy. We're going to get into why he's happy this offseason. My guy, Martin, representing the Washington Commanders. What's going on, Martin?
You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is.
Appreciate y'all for coming on. And in the chat, I know Cole's got his channel linked up, so appreciate everyone over there on the Cole's channel coming through. Make sure y'all subscribe to everyone. We're going to get later on into where everybody can get subscribed at. Appreciate y'all. I see Miss VP. I see Mo, you in the building. Don, I see you. But let's get on to the nitty-gritty of things. Gentlemen, this offseason has been crazy. So let's talk about some offseason moves that each team has done. Cole, we're going to start with you. We know the Cowboys. Know we got some issues with Jerry. You know, Jerry don't like to sign nobody to y'all team, but Zeke got let go. But talk about the season last year y'all had and how you was feeling after what happened last season.
Hey, yeah, man. Last year, it was a whole different tone. I really wasn't excited about the year. You know, I was like, man, we probably won't make the playoffs, you know, with losing, you know, Amari Cooper and, you know, Tyron Smith going down and all that stuff. And then that, you know, getting hurt in the first game. But, you know, we roughed it out. They surprised the hell out of me. I ain't gonna even lie. But this season is different, man. It's a lot going on. We got Brandon Cooks. We got Stephon Gilmore. It's been quiet for the most part of the season. I mean, of the off season, which was surprising. Draft was okay. As far as Ezekiel Elliott, we all knew he wasn't going to stay. You know, it was hard to see him go, but it's still in the air. You know how Jerry do. So we really don't know, you know, at this point if he's going to come back because nobody got him up or, you know, and we have our current running back situations with Ronald Jones and stuff like that. So it's still in the air. But as far as like the, you know, how I'm feeling about this offseason, I'm feeling great about it. You know, everything is everything in Dallas. You know, Jerry would do what he has to do. You know, we got the Zach Martin stuff going on, but other than that, everything's good in Dallas.
All right. Cool. Tell me how you felt about the Eagles. We all know the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and came up 3 points short. Talk about how that felt last season, how you felt about last season, and then, you know, we're going to talk about this season. But how did you feel about going to the Super Bowl and then coming up short?
So, you know, a lot of people have a lot of, a lot of little snide remarks to make. Oh, you didn't win the Super Bowl. You're right. But we had an opportunity to your team, right? Obviously, we didn't finish the job. We got there, but we didn't finish the job. It is what it is. It happens. The learning experience, you know, but that doesn't mean we're not trying to go back. You know, a lot of people left the team, but that's okay. That's why you got drafts. That's why you got free agency. That's where you have, and this is a complete 360, 720 for me. Howie Roseman is being a good GM, right? I'm one of the people, I was on Howie hard, all those horrible draft picks. You know, I'm not even going to talk about the fact that Justin Jefferson should be a Philadelphia Eagle. I'm going to let that go now because A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are there. But there's been a lot of bad things he's done. But lately, he's turned the corner, and he's been a lot better. As he's gotten better at bringing in the personnel, we've gotten better. We have a better head coach who I think relates to the players more. We have new coordinators. Definitely needed a change on defense because the lack of a proper defensive coordinator, a guy who knew what the heck he was doing on the defensive side of the ball, cost us last year. I lamented on it last year. If you go watch the Eagles Elite podcast, any episode talking about last season, you will hear me talk about the man who now will remain nameless. He's only referred to as JG if there is anything that needs to be said about him, the trash ex-defensive coordinator that we have. So Arizona, you got a guy that is garbage. Good luck. I'm glad we got rid of him and jettisoned that trash from the team. So that's how I feel about last season, where we got. I'm excited that we did better than most people believe we would do that were not Eagles fans. So there's only one thing we can do to get better. We got to get their back and we got to win.
All right, Martin, how did you feel about how the way your season ended?
Well, I mean, the biggest acquisition is Airbnb. Just knowing that we really needed an offensive coordinator, and especially with the talent on this team. Yeah, we couldn't do well last year because of Scott Turner, and there were some things that was left on the field that we should have capitalized a little bit more. I mean, we missed the playoff by one game. I mean, we should have been in the playoffs last year, but I mean, we still had a 500 season, but that was just not enough for me. And going out, getting a guy like Airbnb that's proven, who wants to be a head coach. I don't know why he's not a head coach right now, but you know, we got to contend with teams like the Giants, Dallas, and the Eagles. And even though we lost 2 games to the Giants, which we should have beat them, that probably would have put them out and put us in. Nonetheless, and then to top it all off, the sell of the team, man, I mean, I can't be more pleased and more happy because right now, for what I experienced last week when I was up there for training camp, all I could say, the vibe is real down there. The vibe is real down there. I mean, if you look at last year, we ain't hardly had nobody in the stands in training camp. We had over 10,000 on last Saturday. So that goes to show now that there's a sense of urgency, but there's a great feeling because now the team knows they got to go out and win. They got to win games. There's no more excuses. We can't use Dan Snyder as an excuse anymore and anything like that. This is a breath of fresh air for everybody. So now we got to go out there and capitalize on it.
Definitely big facts. You know, you coming into the draft, you know, you guys drafted pretty well. Got Jahan Dotson last year. You got Emmanuel Forbes this year for y'all. Were you happy about your draft? Talk about your draft.
No, I ain't gonna lie.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie to you, not Key. I was not 2 years ago. We go back to Jahan. Now I watched Jahan play in the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? You know, I seen what he did against, you know, Olave and Wilson because he was a one-man show for Penn State. When we moved up, we could have got the safety for Notre Dame. That's what we really needed back there at that time. But we didn't. We kind of like traded around and got Jahan. And then once we got him, you know, I kind of like tell guys, you know, tell people, I say, hey, study the tape, watch him. I say, he's going to be a very complimentary guy to. Now, everybody was saying, you know, all the other receivers that there was out there. But nonetheless, Jahan proven, because if he didn't get hurt last year in them 5 games, he would have been Rookie of the Year because he led the league. He led the team with 7 touchdowns. Just imagine he would have had 10. He could have had 10 touchdowns. And we had mediocre quarterback play. Now, spin it forward this year, we fixed our offense. We fixed the defensive line. We was top 5 in almost every category last year. The one area that we didn't do good was turning the ball over. We improved getting sacks, getting to the quarterback. Now the back end has to get turnovers. We got to create turnovers, shorten the field for our quarterback to be able to put points on the board. That was the area of concern. I wasn't for Emmanuel Forbes because I wanted the other guy that the Patriots picked up. But seeing how Forbes played, seeing how Forbes is in practice and how he's been contending with everybody, I mean, I'm all for it. And just not Forbes, because you got to look at Quan Martin, you know, for Illinois, he's a plus right there. This is going to step up Percy Butler even more because he didn't really get a lot of playing time last year. But now they got pieces Now they got athletic guys back there. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Dallas with Trayvon Diggs, how he plays, Forbes actually could be that same guy because he's rangy, he's long. Yeah, everybody talks about his weight, but that don't really matter. The dude is a baller. He's a dog, and he definitely is going to be a problem out there on that field this season.
All right, cool. What do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles draft class this year?
I am very excited how this draft class actually pans out. Right, you look at first round. I feel like we stole Jalen Carter. Right? I really feel like we stole Jalen Carter in the first round. Not upset about it. Glad he fell to us. Then all these other NFL franchises elected to overlook Nolan Smith. So we get a first round pick with a chip on his shoulder, who basically, from reports I've gotten from camp, looks like a young, underdeveloped Hassan Reddick playing behind Hassan Reddick, right? So can't be upset about that. There's no reason for me to be upset about that. Then you look at the third round, we get a safety in Sidney Brown who's looked solid, as well as Tyler Steen, who is at least going to be the backup, it looks like, right guard, if not starting, right? Jurgens has been getting first team reps. We'll see how that plays out, but worst case, Tyler Steen will be the backup right guard. Fourth round, we get a huge steal in Keely Ringo. Getting Ringo in the fourth round, I mean, I can only say ridiculous. I could go through every draft pick, but I think you get an idea. A lot of great pieces were added to a team. And then, you know, I won't talk about it now, but free agency was also very good to the Eagles. And, you know, we have some young guys on our own that we look to step up this upcoming season. So I'm very excited. I think our rookie class is going to contribute. I don't think all of the guys will be day one starters or guys that start early on, but I think as we get into the season, you're going to start to see more of those guys. To say Philly Bulldogs, hey, if you want to say Philly the Bulldogs, I don't care what you say. But there's only one name that you're going to ever hear me say, that's the Philadelphia Eagles. So it is what it is. Georgia's been a winning program. A lot of great defensive players. They're coming in the league. They're sitting there where they should have already been drafted. What are we supposed to do? Oh, I can't draft them because people are going to say we got too many Bulldogs on the team. Nah, that's not how we roll. We're trying to win. You need the youth. You need top-tier guys that know how to win, guys that can go into a locker room, understand what's there, be leaders, you know, if needed, called upon, and also understand how to follow the guys that are already there. Those are the kind of guys that we're bringing in, and I feel like it's going to work out great for us.
All right. Appreciate AP and Mo as always. They are your fellow Washington fans. So, Martin, you're not alone here in the chat. Coles, what did you think about the Dallas' draft? I know y'all got Maisie Smith, who, you know, a lot of people was like, oh, he may not make it. But how did you think about y'all draft?
Yeah, our draft was it was basically, how do I say it? It was a good draft to me. It wasn't like one of those mind-blowing drafts like Philadelphia had. But as far as like the Maisie Smith pick, I didn't hate it at all. It was something that we basically needed versus something that was, what would I say, a luxury pick. I was high on at least getting an offensive lineman. But getting him, I understand the pick. You know, we need to be able to stop the run. And Philadelphia, y'all made us get a guy to stop against y'all. So, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. We had to bow down to y'all for the first round pick. As far as the other picks, though, Demario Overshown, I like him from Texas. One draft pick that I hate right now, and it gets worse every time I hear about it, is our second round pick, Luke Schoonmaker. I mean, he's hurt. You know, he hasn't really performed in training camp because of his foot injury, plantar fasciitis. So it gets worse and worse, but overall, we got, you know, Junior Fijogo. We have Deuce Vaughn. I'm very high on those guys. They're balling out in camp. We got a Jalen Brooks, wide receiver from South Carolina. He's been balling out. Really caught my eye because I really wasn't too high on him. You know, he was a lower draft. I didn't really know much about him. He's been balling all camp. So it's a lot of young guys coming out, second year guys like Jalen Tolbert. I've been, screaming his name all last year. It was a bad year for him, but he's starting to emerge into one of those guys this year. He's showing a lot of promise in camp. He's very comfortable in the system, the new system that we're bringing on. So as far as like the offseason moves and drafts, we got Ronald Jones. We'll see, because he's suspended for 2 games right now. What else? I'm trying to see if I ain't missing nothing. Oh, yeah, of course. Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore, like, they're bringing leadership to the team, and that's something that we need. That's that jolt of energy that we need in the locker room. So with those 2 additions, as far as like offseason moves and the draft, I feel like we're putting together a little something. I do want to spice up a little bit, if you don't mind.
Definitely. What's going on with Zach Martin? So here's the talk of the town in Big Dallas here. So Trayvon Diggs gets his money. We knew you had to pay Trayvon Diggs. Then CeeDee Lamb's up for a deal. You got to pay CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
No love for Zach Martin. What's going on with Zach Martin, Coles? I know he's losing He's losing money right now because he said no. Is Jerry going to tend to Zach Martin? Because you need an offensive line to protect Dak.
Let me tell you something. Jerry Jones is playing a game, a very dangerous game, might I add. I think he got a little leverage, but not most, because Zach Martin is a Hall of Famer. In my opinion, he's the number 1 guard in the league right now. I want him to get his money. He did get paid in 2018, though. He was the highest paid guard in 2018 for a 6-year deal. So he still got a couple of years left on his contract, but I believe Jerry is basically playing a game of chicken with Zach Martin to see who's going to cave first. But I believe they're going to – one thing about them, they'll go through all these loops and stuff and they'll eventually cave in and pay. They did that with Ezekiel Elliott, and this is not the first rodeo with Zach Martin doing this. He done it before, and they caved in and paid him. I believe, they probably like, it's training camp. This dude's a veteran. He really don't need to be there. Maybe we can just bubble wrap him, keep him from getting hurt in training camp, and he'll be ready to play week 1. That's basically how they play these games. As far as Trayvon, he deserves his money. I'm glad he got it.
All right, now the Eagles got to definitely see Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs twice a year. Y'all did beef up the secondary with Gilmore. I do agree with that. Now, cool over with the Eagles off season. Howie's still working his magic as of today. He got rid of Davion Taylor because he stinks. And what does he do? He cooks up Zach Cunningham and Miles Jack. Talk about the signings that Howie Roseman still continue to do.
Well, the thing about Howie is the last couple of years, he's been really well with doing something that makes a lot of sense. And that is simply getting guys at a good deal at the right time, right? Getting guys to bring in to have a possibility to make the team. So this is just other examples of that, but there have been so many just this offseason. Just think about the guys that we either brought in or brought back just this season, right? You look at Olamide Zaccheaus, possible slot wide receiver for us in a battle with Quez Watkins for that position. Obviously, I talked about how we drafted Tyler Steen. We brought in Marcus Mariota as a backup quarterback. So a lot of people laugh and say, Marcus Mariota, what's so big about that? Marcus Mariota is the same style of quarterback as Jalen Hurts. So you don't have to change the offense if something happens and Hurts needs to miss a game, or you want to take him out of a game early, or he gets injured, or whatever the situation may be. If you need to take Jalen Hurts out of the game, the backup that you now have is a guy that plays the same style offense. He can be placed into the RPO. He's not going to stand there and look like a statue. You're going to believe that he actually will run with the ball, unlike what we had last year. So that's going to be an improvement. Obviously, trading for DeAndre Swift, big move. Rashard Penny, I love bringing him in as well to add to the running back room, because at the end of the day, you can't have enough running backs because you have injuries. We know running backs are devalued in the league now, so you need to have a stable of guys who can play that position. All right. We go to the defense. Talk about Nicholas Morrow. Right now was scheduled to be our starting wide linebacker. We brought back Darius Slay. We brought in Terrell Edmonds at strong safety. We brought back James Bradbury. These are big moves. Greedy Williams is a guy who can be versatile, play both positions for us. I mentioned earlier guys that we drafted, and then so many other pieces that we brought in as well. But this is just a good example of guys that were brought in that are going to have I believe, significant roles on the team. And that's what you want to do. You want to bring in guys. You want to pick up guys. You want to find guys. You want to be able to make trades. You want to be able to do the things to get guys onto your team that are going to make you successful. And I think we're doing the best job of that I've seen the Philadelphia Eagles do in a long time. It's been consistent for a couple of years, so it's not a one and done thing. It seems to be the way that we're going to be moving now. So if that's what's going to happen, I'm excited about it.
All right, Martin, what about your your offseason moves? I know you did get back up Jacoby Brissett in. Of course, y'all got Eric Bieniemy. Sam Howell could be is going to be the starting quarterback. How do you feel about Sam Howell and him getting some guidance from Jacoby Brissett? We all know he's a veteran, and Jacoby Brissett isn't bad. So
No, Jacoby is not bad. I actually wanted Jacoby a couple of years ago when he was at his height, and I think he would have been able to do some good things. But I like Sam Howell. I think he's young, especially with the salary cap, knowing that we got to pay Chase, Montez, and Cam Curl. He's gonna be beneficial. And plus, I like that Sam Howell is able to work with Eric Bieniemy because this is a whole new offense. He gets to learn the whole new offense along with Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is guiding them, and they've been praising Sam Howell about how he's been taking it in. If anybody have seen the pivot the couple of days when they had Terry on there and how Terry was talking, I forgot because I didn't even know Terry played with Joe Burrow in Ohio State before Joe Burrow transferred out and everything. He said that he has that moxie a little bit like Joe Burrow that, and Sam can play. Sam can throw. People think that he can't make the throws. He can make the throws. He can run. He's strong, and he wants to learn. Is he going to make mistakes? Yeah, he's going to make mistakes. That's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? There is no rookie quarterback that ever started the game that didn't make mistakes, but knowing that we haven't had a franchise quarterback in so long, is like nobody's really giving us a shot. You know what I'm saying? They still think we're going to have a bad record or we still need a quarterback and stuff like that. But I say this, Sam Howell is going to shock a lot of people because of the Eric Bieniemy factor. I don't have to worry about Ron Rivera dipping his nose in the business, you know what I'm saying? Hovering over like he did last year, not knowing that you're supposed to make the playoffs. You went for one quarterback.
That was crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Make the playoffs. You're going to play Carson Wentz.
And then after Carson Wentz stink the game up, you want to go back to Taylor Heineke where he's just like, I ain't starting next game. Give it to Sam Howell. You know what I'm saying? If you had realized what you was doing, and Scott Turner didn't even want Carson Wentz back in the game. He wanted to go with Sam Howell at that point. That Browns game last year, he wanted to go with Sam Howell, but him and Ron Rivera didn't get along on there, and they didn't agree to it. And I understand Ron Rivera had a lot of pressure, but at the same time, as a head coach, when you only had 3 winning seasons in 12 years, that says a lot to me. Yeah, you got great character. You did something with the culture, the guys that's there. But I just think you got to allow somebody that's an offensive genius that knows what he's doing and know how to develop quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this here is that I think Sam Howell is going to be all right. I think having Jacoby Brissett there is going to benefit him a whole lot because Jacoby could guide him. Do I think Jacoby could threaten him for the job? It depends on, if Sam Howell starts the season off really, really bad. That's the only way I see it. I really don't see him taking a job from him, so.
All right, Coles, I got a question for you.
That's good.
All right, so Dak. We all know what's up with Dak. Cowboys can't get past the first round. They beat Tom Brady last year, and they always get stopped by the 49ers. So Dak comes out and says he's not going to throw 10 interceptions or more this year. Then a week later, the team announced a plan to run the ball more last season. So, the question is, are they keeping the ball out of Dak's hands, or they're going to correct the big mistake from last year?
So as far as the quote, that quote is actually a false quote that was made up. Now, he didn't say he wasn't going to throw 10 interceptions. He just said there won't be as many tip pass interceptions this year, because that's basically what half his interceptions were. But I mean, interceptions in our world. But as far as the whole Mike McCarthy want to run the ball more, stuff like that, this is just basically where I go off of how Mike McCarthy has been since he's been our head coach. Mike McCarthy is a very, very, very big liar. He lies about, you can't take nothing that he says and cash it to the bank, because he lies. He lies to us. And I believe he's lying as far as he wants to run the football more. With the weapons that we have, we got Brandon Cooks, we got Michael Gallup, and we got CeeDee Lamb. And from what I've been seeing in training camp, Dak been airing that ball out. Now, I believe he is going to run the ball because Schottenheimer, Brian Schottenheimer, that's his MO. He runs the ball. He's a good. He handles the run games perfectly fine. And I'll get into Brian Schottenheimer because I believe he might start calling plays half of the season. I believe Mike McCarthy will start off calling plays just to see how it goes. And if it gets to the point where I need to focus on game management a little bit more, hey, try to go ahead and pick up the play calling, that's something that he might go ahead and do depending on how the situation is. But I believe they're going to establish the run to open up for the pass. Lighten up them boxes, basically go off of Dak Prescott's strengths, which is play action pass. Plus, they also been adding in a lot of RPO into this play game. So that means Dak Prescott is going to run the ball himself more, like he did when he first came out in the league.
All right, cool. This question is for you. Now, what do you say to the people who says, "Oh, Jalen Hurts is a running back. Oh, he can't throw the ball"? What will Jalen Hurts prove this year?
Jalen Hurts won't prove anything this year. Jalen Hurts proved everything he needed to prove last year. If you still have the audacity to try to say that this man is not an NFL quarterback, you don't know football, period. Now, if you want to say that he needs to improve, he needs to get better at doing those things, I can accept that. But to say he's not an NFL quarterback and he's a running back, you don't know football, and your opinion just doesn't matter to me or anybody that knows football.
Oh, point blank period. Do you think point blank period? Do you think?
Hey, drop that mic on that one. Golly.
So do you think the Eagles can possibly get back to the level they was last year? I'm not saying an undefeated season. Not saying we did start off 8-0. I'm not saying that, but do you think we can get back to that level? Maybe possibly getting back to Super Bowl.
I do, because I think we're hungry. I think we're embarrassed as a team. We've heard a couple of people come out crying even lately. So I think there's still some emotion involved. I think there's a lot of motivation because there's not been a lot of teams. I believe there's only been maybe one in the modern era that has lost the Super Bowl, came back, got back to the Super Bowl, and then won. So I think this is an opportunity for us to say, hey, we know what we did last year. We know we came up short. QB1 and got paid. We got the weapons. I think we're going to be a little bit better at wide receiver, because I think whoever wins this battle for the third wide receiver is going to be somebody who's going to catch the ball, not drop the ball, and not get up and make bad plays. It's going to be a guy that can make plays for us in the passing game. So I'm excited because I think we're going to be a little bit better offensively. I think just like last year, it's going to take a little time for the defense to gel. There's a harder schedule, so we may not win as many games. I still think we are the number one seed in the NFC. I still think we're going to the Super Bowl, and I still think we're going to win it.
All right. So, Martin, here's my question for you. I know all of Washington is happy about Mr. Dan Snyder getting out of here. So tell me how the team is feeling now that that evil cloud is gone. What does the team feel like now that they got Josh Harris and as an owner now?
Like I alluded to earlier in the show, I went down there last weekend, well, a weekend ago. I was down there for 2 days for both of the training camp, Friday and Saturday. And just the vibe, the people was it's just something that was my first training camp, because I done been to football games. I done seen them play in person, but just that atmosphere was totally different. You know, when you get your owner to come down there, you know, not just the opening day, but you know, a couple of days later, meet with the fans, sign autographs, you know, really want to engage with the community a little bit more and bring something special to, you know, to the city, the DMV area. I mean, it's electric, man. I mean, you know, the players, you can see it on their face how they ready to they ready to explode. It's like this team is like ready to take off. You know, we got talent. You know, we probably ain't been managed well. We probably ain't been under the right guidance well, but this team got talent. I mean, just standing next to Chase Young, it was like standing against Shaq. I mean, it was like literally crazy. You know, I mean, he looks strong. He looks fast. He's ready. Terry's ready. Brian Robinson, who I took a photo with, actually me and him friends on Facebook, you know, and we kind of like talked to him a little bit, you know, so these guys feel relieved. Ron Rivera feel relieved. I mean, Ron Rivera was so tense last year. Now he's relieved. So having Daniel Snyder hover over this franchise for over 20 plus years, man, when I'll go back and say, hey, when he took over the team, when Marty Schottenheimer was the coach and we had a good team in place the following year, that could have been our Super Bowl year. The year when we drafted RG3 with Mike Shanahan, before RG3 got hurt, that could have been a Super Bowl year for us. We could have literally had 2 Super Bowls under Dan Snyder if he had stayed out the way. He messed the team up from day one when he took over. And this team never recovered. We had some good moments. Then you had this idiot, Albert Hainsworth, with his comments yesterday on Twitter, you know, siding with Daniel Snyder and calling Clinton Portis, Chris Cooley, and D'Angelo Hall trash. When you was the biggest trash there was. You only played 2 seasons, laid on the field, took the money, and you got traded for a 5th round pick to New England. You know what I'm saying? So if anything's trash, he's trash, the biggest trash. But nevertheless, Key, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy about the season. I know it's a tall task because everybody is in the NFC has gotten better. We all got better. And it's gonna be a dogfight. There ain't gonna be no walk through the park for none of these teams. You know, it's gonna be how the NFC used to be back in the day, because now everybody's raising their level. The teams has gotten better. It's going to be the fight to the finish. And honestly, if we handle our schedule, not against each other, but the other opponents, I could still see all 4 of these teams making to the playoffs. It was damn near close last year. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you look at the NFC, who's over there that really could deal with all 4 of us? Not really much that's over there. So I think Washington's in a good position. Like I said, because of the defense. I think the offense is going to shock a lot of people because we're going to be able to do things. And like they were saying, like RPOs and all of that stuff. We got shifts, a lot of RPOs, a lot of the same things that Kansas City was using with Patrick Mahomes. I think we went more in depth with it because of the playmakers that we have. I think we have better playmakers than Kansas City have. They just probably had the better quarterback and the better tight end. But I think overall we have a better playmaking wide receiver, tight end, and running back core.
Yeah, that was crazy what Hainsworth said. I said that. I was like, are you kidding me? Mr. going to stomp somebody's face. I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
but
that dude.
We're going to get into some fun here. We're going to get into some record predictions. This is definitely going to be interesting. And Martin, since you was last, we're going to start with you. Hold up, on and bring up.
Record predictions
for everybody.
Let me go. I did this early. I'm gonna go. Not early today, but Oh yeah, there we go. Well.
All right, so
I did.
we have the record predictions here. Well, we have the schedule here for the Commanders. So go through everything and let's see what do you think your record's going to be?
All right, so we start off with Arizona, so I already predict that as a win, which I will be at that game. I will be at that game. Um, September 17th. That's my oldest son's birthday, so they play against the Denver Broncos. I believe that will be definitely a win. Um, Week 3 against Buffalo, we haven't fared well the last time we played Buffalo, and I think Buffalo has a little turmoil going on with them right now. They're not the same team. I think last year took a lot out of them with the DeMar Hamlin situation, and then they never recovered, and Cincinnati just added another blow to them. And now with Stephon Diggs, situation over there. So I don't know how they're gonna play because they don't have a running back either. So, but still, Josh Allen, he could still be dangerous and he still could run out of the pocket. So depends on how our defense start off the first 2 games. I'm gonna give us that win. I think we'll win that game. Now we have to go to Philly. So the 4th game of the season, I predict that a loss because Philly is the defending NFC champs and they've been to the Super Bowl, and I think the first game against them we will lose that game, but I don't think we will lose it bad. I think it will be very close than a lot of people anticipated. Then I think when we play that Thursday night against Chicago Bears, NFL Network predict us to go 5-12, and we got us losing against Chicago. I don't see us losing against Chicago. I think that will. I don't see us losing against Chicago. I don't see us losing against the Falcons on the 15th, which I will plan on going to that game also. I don't see us planning on losing to the Giants the first game. Now the second game against Philly, I think that's where we'll get them because we see what they was able to do the first time, and we beat them last year on Monday Night Football, so I think we'll beat them again. I do believe. I think that New England game is a tricky game because Bill Belichick, he's still Bill Belichick no matter what. But I do see us winning that game, close game. The Seattle game is going to be tough. I earlier this year I picked us to win that game, but I'm gonna predict us to lose that game. I think we'll beat the Giants on the 19th before we play Dallas, and I think we'll lose to Dallas on Thanksgiving. Dallas hardly ever lose on Thanksgiving. Now we have beat them twice on Thanksgiving in the past, but I think Dallas will prevail. Somebody said 7 wins max. Get real. We not winning. We win more than 7 games, bro.
It's called a troll. You always have one.
And I think that Miami game is going to be tough too. In regular season, I can't remember a time we have beat Miami in the regular season, and I don't think it'll start this time. Now it depends on Tour. If he's healthy around that time we play him, then that could be a win. But I say I'll put an L. So we'll lose back to back Thanksgiving and that game. But against the Rams, they're not the same Rams, so I believe we'll win that game. And then Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, the Christmas Eve. I'm looking forward to that game because we have beat up Aaron Rodgers the last few times we played him in Green Bay, so I like it. Depends on how the Jets play. Everybody got so much hype around them, so I really want to put Aaron Rodgers on his neck. So I'm gonna give us that win on that one. And the game that I really want is the 49ers game. So how many wins you got me so far? Because I wasn't keeping track, Key.
So you said you'll win the Cardinals. You said Denver. You're gonna lose to Buffalo, Chicago, the Falcons. I think you said the Giants.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. You said you gonna win the second Philly game.
Yeah, I think I got a split in Philly.
You got
But
1, 2, 3, 4. I think you said both Giants games is gonna win. 1, 2,
yeah,
3, 4, 5, 6. You're at 7 right now.
7. All right. And then I said what? And I said we'll beat the Rams.
That's 8.
And I do believe we'll beat the Jets.
That's 9.
We'll lose the 49ers and we beat Dallas last game of the season.
So you got them going 10-7.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Now, I got them going 10-7, but no more than 11-6, because anything can happen along the way. Like I said, that Miami game is tricky. That could be a different challenge. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got them going 10-7 so far. I don't see them missing the playoffs. They win 2 games over 500 from last year. They was 8-1, which they should have been. They should have been 10. They should have had 10 games last year. But nevertheless, I got them winning 10 games this year.
All right. So we got the Washington Commanders going 10-7. So Mark thinks they're gonna go 10-7. All right. So we got next up here. Cool. We gonna go with you with the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me a second to put my screen back up here. All right, cool. You got the floor.
Week 1, New England. That's a win. They have no quarterback. Week 2, Thursday night primetime game against the white Dak Prescott, who choked his game plan. 2-0. Week 3, Tampa Bay, no quarterback. That's 3-0. Week 4 against Washington. That's where we trip up. That's the trip up game. So I got us losing to Washington the first game. All right, Rams, that's a win. Jets, they're going to be better with Aaron Rodgers, but we're still going to beat them. Miami, I've got that as a loss. Washington the second time, we're not going to lose to Washington twice. I got that as a win. I got Dallas as a win. Then we got a bye. I got Kansas City as a loss. I got Buffalo as a win. I got San Francisco as a loss. I got Dallas going 0-2 against Philly this year. I got us beating Seattle. I got us beating the Giants the first time. Arizona's going to have nothing to play for about week 17 except for the number 1 pick. And then I got us losing the Giants week 18 because we have nothing to play for. And if my mathematics serve me correct, that's 13-4.
Oh, got us pushing 13-4. Okay.
And obviously, injury can change this. Injuries sometimes happen. But without injury, that's where I see the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, Coles, you are up. Let me get your schedule up here, sir. Give me 1 second.
I like that last comment that guy LA posted up there talk about there's no way we win 10 games. I am a betting man, so
I got 10-7 for y'all. I see 10-7. Real talk.
Yeah. I wonder who his team is. I hope it ain't the Giants.
All right, Cole, the floor is yours, sir. What is your record prediction this year?
All right. Let's see. All right, so I got us beating those stinky Giants. So that's 1-0. The Jets, now I know what people going to say. Aaron Rodgers, all that crap. I believe we get Aaron Rodgers this game. I believe, he still got to get his pieces together with, his young receivers, and they ain't got no offensive line. They don't have no running game right now. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
We getting Aaron Rodgers that day. That's gonna happen next. So 2-0, Arizona. I ain't gonna even finish them. We gonna beat them. Patriots. They come to our house. They don't play. We gonna beat them. They got Mac Jones. San Francisco. San Francisco may be the game that we lose. I believe we might lose that game if I pick it. But we're going to go down to the Chargers. That's going to be the Kellen Moore Bowl. We're going to beat them. And then we come back home to LA. The Rams. That's a 1:00 game. We're going to beat them. Eagles, we're going to lose to them at home. Giants, sweep. Panthers, we're going to win. Washington at home, we're going to win. Seattle, they come to our house, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat the Eagles. But we're going to lose to the Bills because we go to Buffalo. I believe that we could we're going to beat the Dolphins. Not going to happen. The Dolphins will be a win. The Lions could be one of our trick games that we lose, to be honest with you. I believe that might be a game that they might sneak up and beat us, and it will end up by beating the Washington. How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, 13 and 4.
I just want to say real quick, it's hilarious. People in the chat is talking about that we were delirious, me and Martin. Wow, my man, the Cowboys fan, was picking. He made like 2 picks, and then he's so realistic. Yeah, that makes so much sense. He only had made 2 picks. What are you talking about? Do better.
What happened?
No, I was saying some of the people in the chat, they're like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm like, my man ain't made but 2 picks. How does he know what I'm talking about? He doesn't know what he's gonna say yet.
Yeah.
Coles, what you got? What you got the Cowboys going?
I think, let me see. I got a pick back. So I got to lose to the 49ers, 1 on Philly, 1 against the Bills, and 1 against the Lions. I got to lose in 4 games.
So yeah.
Okay. So 13 and 14?
Yeah.
So that would be
hard. I got 12 and 5 at the floor because we've been 12 and 5 for the past 2 seasons. If it was another game that we would lose, I will say the Dolphins only because we're coming from Buffalo and then we're going to Miami the next week. And that's in December. So if realistic Cole hops in, I'm not really high on the Dolphins because we got to put in, is Tua going to be healthy enough to play that game? And Jalen Ramsey, then Jalen Ramsey, he is scheduled to come back in December, but we don't know. The Dolphins might be, frauds is all we know. They got they got some good weapons, but can they finish the job out in December? So that plays a big part. But I know we're gonna.
I was supposed to have a Giants fan up here, so I can't talk about the Giants schedule and talk about them. But there, I believe, I can see Washington possibly getting. I got maybe they're ceiling 9 wins, probably 8 or 9, but that ceiling's 10. I can definitely see Dallas getting double digits. Definitely can see the Eagles. I got them actually going 12 and 5 because that stretch off the bye is brutal in the NFL. Why y'all do that to us? But we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, that stretch we got the Kansas City, Seattle, Dallas, Washington, Seattle, the 49ers. Why y'all do that to us? Y'all, that's horrible. But anyway, I got that stretch there. I think we go 12 and 5 at the most. I still think we win the division. And it's hard because no team has won the division back to back. It's always been somebody different, whether it was Washington or the Dallas one year, the Giants another year. But I don't see the Giants getting into the playoffs this year like they did last year. I know they had Daniel Jones get all that money. They decided to pay DJ, but you're not going to pay Saquon. Y'all right. Y'all absolutely right. Y'all get Darren Waller. Okay, it's an upgrade from Evan Ingram a little bit, maybe. But we'll see. I don't have no faith in the Giants. I at least give them maybe 6 to 7 wins. That's my guess. Y'all think maybe 7 wins for the Giants?
I mean, yeah, I think they'd be 7 and 9, 8 or whatever. I mean, they could probably get 8 wins. I don't know how, but I mean, it could be a fluke. But the thing about it is that, like I was saying earlier, all our teams, have improved. Now, I mean, anything can happen because if you look at last year, all 4 of our teams could have got in. You know what I'm saying? 3 of them got in, we didn't get in. We was on the cuffs, and we blundered that mistake ourselves. You know what I'm saying? If we had just made one change, we would have got in. So I look at the NFC in the totality because, except for our division, I look at it in the totality. I say that you got the Saints over there, you got the Rams over there, you got Detroit that probably going to be battling the division with the Minnesota Vikings. So that's probably 2 teams coming out of that division. Who knows? You got Seattle. I don't think Seattle's going to be that team like they was. Geno got his money, but I don't see them repeating. I think they're going to take a step back. I think they're going to be the team that was hot last year is going to take a step back. I think the Rams probably will be playing them close for that division. The Rams could make the playoff, but who knows? And then you got Carolina, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Atlanta. I mean, the best division in the NFC in the NFC right now is the NFC East because of what all our teams about. Our teams have probably the best defense in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to carry us even more further than some of the other teams because everybody's focused so much on quarterback play. Even though we starting a rookie quarterback, but guess what? We have experience with an offensive coordinator. That's the one key that I keep telling people they underestimating Washington because you look at Sam Howell's a rookie, yeah, but when you got a guy that's pretty much won Super Bowls, been through the trenches, started a rookie quarterback with Patrick Mahomes after being with Alex Smith, and Alex Smith came to us. Alex Smith helped us make the playoff the COVID year, So, I mean, my thing is that I look at all 4 of our teams. Now, the Giants probably will take a hit, but I think they'll be battling with the Seattles and all of them teams. Green Bay, they'll probably be a lottery. They're going to probably be in the mix looking for quarterbacks. Same thing with Arizona doing and all of that stuff. But I still think the NFC East is going to be a division that's going to be talked about all season long because of what Dallas, what the Eagles, what the Commanders, or what the Giants can possibly bring. So, but I stand by my record. You know what I'm saying? I did say 11 will be astronomical for this team, but 10 and 7 it will be just right where they need to be in the cuffs, and everything like that. But we'll see.
They definitely can't call us the NFC least this year.
Nah.
I want to make all the
we definitely not the
Cowboys
NFC least
fans.
this year.
Yeah, I want to make all the Cowboys fans in the chat happy real quick, and my man Cole's Cowboys gonna smile on this one. the 3 best teams in the NFC, in my opinion, are still whatever order you want to put them in: the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. Right. So if you want to get to the NFC Championship game, and ultimately the Super Bowl, you're going to have to take out at least one of those teams to get there.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely 2. So the rest of the NFC, I do see some improvement in certain places, but I see some of those teams that could have kind of been the ones to kind of challenge, not really get stronger. Like you look at Minnesota, for example. You got a guy that has been a spot starter and played really great in spots, but then you depend on him to be a bell cow back, right? And then honestly, if you have a run-heavy team, you better have multiple running backs because all these running backs are seeing how they're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
So you better have 3 or 4 guys because any one of these guys could, tweak something real quick and be like, oh, I can't play for 3 or 4 weeks just because y'all ain't gonna pay me when it's time to pay me anyway. So the teams that are deep, the teams that win the games that they're supposed to win and win a couple of games that people think they shouldn't win on the national level, those are the teams that are going to be at the top. And I think, again, those 3 teams are still going to be Dallas, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. There's going to be other teams that can come up or fall down. It just all depends on who's going to be those other 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
I mean, it could be very well possible. You might see 3 teams. Depends, Washington really plays to their potential. that they can do, you could see 3 teams out the NFC East like last year. We're not going to see the Giants because they're not going.
I mean, I forgot this. I forgot to mention the 49ers in that, but because I forgot about them in that same division. So most likely they'll win that division. But the thing about it is their quarterback situation is in flux too, because we don't know how healthy Purdy is going to be, and Trey Lance still is unproven.
Hey, according to the 49ers, it don't matter. They gonna win. One of us at quarterback.
Yeah, you don't want to see Sam Darnold. Oh God, no.
Yeah, now Sam Darnold would definitely ruin him. But but I mean the 49ers, they don't need a quarterback. They have their defense and they got the weapons. They just need a guy that's just not gonna mess it up.
Yeah,
that's all.
True.
That's what
a game manager. Yep.
Yeah, that's all they need. And that's all they've been winning with. So we'll see, man. I wish I could say that they'll fall off the face of the earth. They'll definitely take a wrench off our back. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
At least from the last 2 years. We ain't going to talk like the 49ers that owned this franchise for many years. Back in the day, we used to be the ones beating them, back-to-back years. The 49ers can't get past the Cowboys. And even back in the 70s, it was vice versa. So maybe, we finally get past them this year. I'm going to put it out. History always repeats itself.
All right. So I got a couple questions for y'all before we move on to this top 100 list and some of the players on this list.
Okay.
Then we're going to wrap things up, tell everybody where y'all can find y'all. All right, Coles, questions for you. Knowing Dak and the Cowboys haven't been back to the promised land in a while. I know it's been 28 long years. Y'all been back to Super Bowl. So, knowing y'all got Dak Prescott, if Dak doesn't at least get y'all to the NFC Championship game, do y'all see yourself moving on from Dak?
It really depends on the situation. It depends on if Dak sync up, like it's horrible, like awful. Like, we don't even make the playoffs, really. If we do make the playoffs and he just plays bad and there's somebody out there that we can get, then yeah, they'll move on from him. But if we just lost the playoff game and it was the whole team, like everything, every factor kind of went down, I say he still stays because you got to think about his cap hit. They're actually trying to extend him right now. He's about to get extended because of the cap hit for next year. I mean, his cap hit is almost like what, $60 million. So they gotta pay. They gotta extend it so they can spread out that money. There's no Hall of Fame quarterback out there or a quarterback that did more than Dak out there to get. So Dak is the guy that we're gonna have to roll with. We never will be bad enough to move on. We always be in the middle of that pack to keep him in, and he hasn't been that terrible. We just got to make that next step.
So you think McCarthy will go before Dak?
McCarthy, I mean, it depends on him too. It depends on how we lose. It really just depends on how we lose. If it's down to everything like collapses and he just was terrible, then yes. But let me ask you this: if we have, I'm not going to use the Commanders as an excuse because y'all would die for a playoff win right now. if we have like a middle of the pack team that makes it to the playoffs or haven't been to a playoff game that much, playoff success, and they had like a back-to-back 12-5 season, do you think that the quarterback or the coach will lose their jobs? They still been winning. Now I know in Dallas it's probably a little bit of different. It just really depends on how they are, and if a quarterback was available, basically that's all it is. No need of getting rid of him and getting somebody worse. I heard Chris Canty talking about we should get Kyler Murray. Now, what type of sense would it make for us to get Kyler Murray?
I won't even get Kyler Murray.
You know what I'm saying? He worse than Dak, so
he's gonna be playing Call of Duty all day, like
right?
I was like, y'all will
Kyler Murray like a toddler running around back there. Tyler Murray like a toddler running around playing.
Right. He's always hurt. I'm trying to really think what quarterback out there will be better to get other than Dak Prescott. Well, I mean, if we get a certain quarterback that's less accomplished, we'll be moving backwards.
And where y'all pay Tony Pollard? What's up with the running back situation? Is Tony Pollard gonna get his money?
We ain't paying for it.
I was hearing Zeke could come back.
I
heard that today.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, I've been hearing it.
I was about to say, I've been though Zeke probably was gonna come back. They just need Dallas just needed time to see what was out on the market. And Jerry probably said, well, hey, we don't figure out what's going on, you more than welcome to come back. And you know Jerry gonna work on back Zeke. Zeke gonna just take less money because he don't want to go. He really don't want to play nowhere else but Dallas.
Zeke ain't gonna have no choice but to take less money. But Jerry do want Zeke back. The way how they work in Dallas is Jerry like to keep it professional. He like for his sons, the other people in the family, they have a say so they do a vote. And he's not going to go against their vote. So a lot of them was like, nah, we'll go ahead and we'll move on from Zeke. He still wants Zeke. So if Zeke is still out there and we going through a running back situation and it's just not looking too promising in camp, he going to go out and get Zeke, which makes sense. I'm all for keeping Zeke. The only thing I didn't like about us having Zeke was his cap hits. He paid way too much money, and it was really weighing us down cap-wise. People were talking about Dak money. Zeke money was worse. His cap hits, that was crazy, man. That was crazy.
The running backs is in the situation they in is Zeke's fault and Le'Veon Bell. I'm just being real. But no, I think y'all should give at least Deuce Vaughn a shot because I like Deuce Vaughn a lot. Yeah, he reminds me of a Darren Sproles 2.0. They went to the same college, Kansas State. Deuce Vaughn is going to be all right. I mean, he's tiny, but what happened with Sproles? Sproles lit people up with his eyes. He catch out the backfield.
Still out there.
So I mean, Deuce Vaughn is going to be special. I've seen a lot of him in our training camps as well. Deuce Vaughn, I can't wait to see him in preseason games. So Deuce Vaughn is going to be nice. I can see that. So out of training camp or so far, who stands out to you right now, Coles?
On the offensive side, the standouts is Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. I'm just naming not the big guy, but and Deuce Vaughn. Those are the three on offense. Defense, I'm looking at Mozzie. He started off a little slowly. I got to work on his takeoff, but that's a strong guy, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's developed. I'm not looking for him to be the all be all year one. It takes time for a defensive tackle to get into his groove. So I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Overshown. He's been good. And another guy that's standing out in camp for me is I just lost his I just thought his train of thought. He's our safety, man. Chat, help me out, Chat. It's the safety from Florida AM. Get back to that, but he a safety. He's good. I forgot his name that quick, but we drafted him last year. But that's what I was. That's what I meant. Not safety corner. Eric Scott. I can't believe I forgot his name because I know his family. Eric Scott Jr. Look out for him. He's having a great camp. He reminds me of how Deron Bland was last year, getting 5 INTs. He's been lighting it up. And Marquise Bell is the safety that was in my mind. He did a good job too. Thank you, Phil.
All right, cool. Who stands out for you in Eagles training camps and everything so far?
So reportedly, I'm an elite receiver himself, Quez Watkins, has actually got a lot of support from the coaches and players. He's been so far, walking the walk. But the thing with Quez Watkins is every year we hear about these great training camps where you're not getting hit, we not have to run routes at actual games, and then we get in the games and we see what we see. So we're going to see how that ends up. Also, Hassan Reddick has nothing but high praise among other players of the team for Nolan Smith. They say he has greatness ahead. He's fast. He's compact. He attacks the ball. He's like another Hassan Reddick, and being able to learn under him, is going to be great for the Eagles because you're going to have more than one guy. Probably not this year, right? Because Smith is only probably going to play situationally this year, but it's a guy that can learn and develop and be ready if for some reason Reddick cannot play or if someone else goes down, they can hop in. Hurts has been doing well. I don't talk too much about quarterbacks in training camp because they don't get hit, right? So, I mean, if you're not getting hit, there's no threat of you being hit. You should look great. If you don't look great in that situation, you probably need to not be a starter and probably on an XFL or USFL roster, like Carson Wentz. But
We're
I'm
not-
not.
Wait,
I'm never gonna miss a
wait.
chance to take a shot at
Speaking
him.
of Carson Wentz, I
Wait,
know
don't-
y'all seen that picture. The Eagles helmet, the Washington jersey, and the Colts shorts trying to get a job. Talking about going back into the lab.
And I
Get
think he
out
had
of here,
like
Carson.
I think he had
I
like
thought this jump was
Commander's
Photoshop.
arm strap or something too, right?
Hey, I said today he done got sacked too many times. He's confused.
I thought it was Photoshop until I saw it on NFL Network, and they said that was off his Twitter account. I'm like,
Yeah, it's all over Twitter
It's
for real.
legit. It's him.
Yeah.
man, that
Oh, my
dude
breath.
crazy.
Martin, who's your standout so far?
Man, well, we got a couple, but the one that we've been doing it since OTAs, Emmanuel Forrest, man, Mr. Interception himself. That boy is, I mean, the boy has gifts. He's that dude for real. I mean, he went against every receiver, tight end that we had on our roster. We brought in Brian Pringle from Kansas City. He's been making a statement. Benjamin St. Jude has looked good. Chase looked good. Montez, they trash talking the offense. I mean, getting into the offense. I mean, the offense have been having a trouble, but the offensive line, Chris Paul has been playing well. This one rookie, Mason Brooks, oh my God, he's like one of the Ohio State line offensive lineman. He's been taking it to Federo Mathis in training camp. Sam Howell, he had his up and downs and stuff, but they all have because like who will say you can't expect too much from the quarterbacks in there because of the scenario is different. But Emmanuel Forrest he's just been the highlight, man. The highlight. Cam Curl, he made some interceptions. Like I said, Benjamin St. Jude, he's been playing good. But the wide receiver, I'm not going to even talk about Terry Dotson and Illinois because they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But for what I know from this defense, that's what I see. I always I look at the 49ers defense in the NFC because of the way they play, and I look at how Dallas came with Michael Parsons. I looked at Philly last year, and I looked at us. Now, we didn't even have Chase last year, and we still put up phenomenal numbers. We was, one of the best defenses in the league last year. And I say now that we have added so much young youth, athletic guys back there in the secondary, man, the dude just said himself, our defense is going to be scary. It's going to be.
One thing about Washington's defense has always been good. I'm not even going to hold you. Washington's defense always gave people issues. I'm not even going to hold you on that. So the defense is going to be scary. Same thing with Dallas. Dallas, you can't knock Dallas's defense either.
Mm-hmm.
Parsons, Diggs. Now they got Gilmore. You still got what's that? DeMarcus Lawrence still got him in there. So I mean, you can't. All the teams except for the Giants. I'm not scared of the defense. Not scared of the defense. Washington defense, Cowboys defense. Everything. So let me go in a chat here because there was a question up here. I believe Warren asked. He said, "So real talk, who do y'all think is more under pressure? Is it Dak or is it Hurts?" Coles already put in the chat Hurts. So talk about it. Talk about it, Coles.
I just feel like a lot of people, and hey, shout out to Hurts, man. He did what he had to do, man. He balled out. I like Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. I don't have no ill will, even if he with the enemy. I like the guy. He got to do it again. He got to do it again. A lot of people expecting him to be, another top tier quarterback. They already putting him up there after 1 year. So I believe he got a little pressure because he got to do it again. You got the city of Philadelphia. Y'all don't play. Y'all had Carson Wentz have an MVP season. Hurt. Then he had to watch a backup quarterback win the Super Bowl. Now y'all got a stacked team. Jalen Hurts getting way more, excitement than the guy that won the actual Super Bowl. Went to the Super Bowl, lost. He had a great performance, but then y'all still lost. He got to come back because expectations is high to go back to the Super Bowl. This is what I told my co-host Smitty. Shout out to Smitty Eagle. I told him, if y'all go to the Super Bowl, y'all got to win it. Because if you don't win it, then that's when everything caved down. It'll just cave down and say, Hurts can't win the big game. You know what I'm saying? 1-4 in the Super Bowl. No, y'all don't. I wouldn't want to go back-to-back losing season because that's what the Buffalo Bills were. So that's all I was saying. That's how I am. I feel like it.
4 Super Bowls in a row and lose all 4. don't do that.
But in all realness, it's both really. But I just say Jalen Hurts really kind of got and that's one thing that I can honestly say that's good about Jalen Hurts because he plays good under pressure. So that might be the motivation he needs to get y'all back there. We don't know. I hope not. We'll see.
Cool. Dak or Hurts?
It's clearly Dak. I mean, as a Dallas fan, I don't blame you for saying Jalen Hurts because you want to take the pressure off of Dak Prescott. Yeah. Dak Prescott, finally got some playoff wins, right? But you got to get to that NFC Championship game. So we could talk about, Hurts made it to the Super Bowl and lost, but he made it to the Super Bowl. That means he won the NFC. That means he made it to the NFC Championship game and won it and got to the Super Bowl. And really wasn't the reason that we lost, but we did lose, right? And he took that on himself. He's been saying all offseason, I feel like it's my fault we lost because I had to fumble. They got to take it for a touchdown. And that truly happened. There's no doubt about it. Ain't no arguing about that. The play happened. But here's the thing with Dak. Dak's been in the league a lot longer. Every year it feels like there's reasons why Dak didn't do this and Dak didn't do that. Oh, Dak didn't have this. Dak didn't have a coordinator. Dak didn't have a coach. Dak didn't have the players. Dak was hurt. It's always something with Dak, right? Dak has gotten a lot of grace in the national media, right? But now the Cowboys are starting to see like, look,
right?
If he don't do nothing, then we might have to make some changes here. Yeah, I said Grace Cole because listen,
Grace, you had me. I was going to that, but okay.
Here's why I'm gonna say Grace, right?
Okay.
They do say, "Oh, Dak don't do this, Dak don't do that." But if Dak goes out and Dak went out and lost games last year because he throwing interceptions. How much of that is being placed on Dak by the media? And how much of that is, he had 12 interceptions or whatever, but a couple of them were tipped. So he's the only quarterback in the league that had tipped balls that led to interceptions. But that's a caveat for Dak Prescott. That's not a caveat for Jalen Hurts. But I'm saying that's an excuse. He got the interception because the ball was tipped. He's still the quarterback that threw the pass. If any other quarterback in the league throws a pass and gets intercepted, what happens? He throws an interception. So all I'm saying is he's getting grace. He's not getting excused, but he's getting grace. You could dig into Dak Prescott a lot more on the national media than they really do. So he doesn't show up this year.
He was called ass on national television.
I mean, everybody's been something said bad, but I'm talking about overall. I'm not talking about one thing that Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith is what I call a Negro Knight. Every one of his takes to me is blasphemous trash.
I can agree.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't count anything Stephen A. Smith says. Now when he goes and he's making fun of Dallas, I watch the clips on YouTube because it's funny because I'm an Eagles fan, right? But I don't really take that seriously.
Yeah.
But I think that being a more veteran quarterback, being a guy that really needs to take that next step, needs to get to that point. And this is a season for him to prove that because a lot of things are in place. You got Brandon Cooks there, right? So you got a solid another receiver. So a lot of the excuses, we got to kind of move those to the side and say, let's see what Dak can do, right? Dak's getting the big money. Dak's the guy. So let's show Dak what he can do. And that's not true. Nobody does. That's not true. Dak owns filthy, whatever you want to call yourself. That's not true. And that's not true. I'm not saying that Dak doesn't get any, but he could get a lot more.
Man, he gets
really
smoked in the media. I don't know what you watching, man.
He could really get smoked, bro.
I would have to agree with that. If it's not nobody, Dak gets talked about on all the networks.
Yeah. It's not always bad, though.
YouTube,
it's not always bad.
Twitter.
I mean, they
CBS,
sticking up.
They be like, oh, Dak, this happened.
Nah,
but,
I don't know about that. They
kids
not
because
giving
he
him
was
no
hurt.
grace. I don't know what media you watching, bro.
That
They
was
are going in on this guy.
always getting talked about.
Now Dallas as a whole
No, they talk
gets
about
talked
that.
about,
No,
but
Dak
they
is
don't.
always
They
getting
don't
talked
always talk about Dak bad. They always talk about him, but
They
it's not always
trashing
bad.
that, man. We got Chris Fancy out here saying.
I disagree.
That, I mean, bro.
You have some people. You have some people that do. Yeah, you have.
All
some
right,
people
one of
that do.
y'all corners. It's
not everybody. Let's not pretend it's everybody. Let's not pretend like all the media say, "Oh, Dak's bad." Let's not do that. Let's be honest about it. Y'all people in chat, all this, it's always a bunch of Cowboys says, "Oh, everybody just talks about Dak. You don't talk about nobody else." Shut up. You all know you're right. Shut up. Shut up.
But let me say this real quick.
What's good?
I think if Dak don't play well, he'll get talked about. But I think more or less, Mike McCarthy was going to get a lot of the blame because now that he doesn't,
Who got the blame last year?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore got the blame last year.
So therefore,
but it's all Dak. Nobody get blamed but Dak.
So therefore, that's just the same way like when Jason Garrett was there. You know what I'm saying?
Where Jason Garrett at?
You know what I'm saying? So I think
and who was the quarterback then?
Clapper.
It was also Dak, right?
Yeah,
but Dak gets all the blame.
He got a coach job. He got a coach job. He was a scapegoat.
So I think this year, I think Mike McCarthy, like my man Coles said, I think that if Mike McCarthy, he's gonna call the plays, and I think if he see the offense is struggling, I think he's gonna turn it over to Schottenheimer because he doesn't want that fire. Because if Dak struggles, they're gonna have to find a way to save Dak. You know what I'm saying? By implementing the running game a little bit more, do a little bit more play action for Dak. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't want to say Dak has hit his wall because I still think that the ankle injury did something to him. I don't know. I mean, I think last year was his first full year after that injury or the year before or whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I mean, this year has to be a year for Dak to like, okay, you don't have Zeke. You know, if Zeke don't come back, you don't have Zeke. You are the guy. You are the guy. You know, and you know, a lot of quarterbacks in the league don't get criticized as much. You know, but at the same time, if things don't go well for Dak, I think the scapegoat will be Mike McCarthy. And so.
Lamar, that's impossible because it's all Dak. Everybody talks bad about Dak all the time, so it's impossible to blame anybody but Dak because it can't be Dak. So it's impossible because according to everybody here's telling me, everything's Dak's fault. I mean, the media always says everything's Dak's fault, but we see coordinators get fired, coaches, and all this, but nobody says anything bad about Dak.
People are trashing it.
People say bad things about Dak, but it's not like everybody's saying bad things about that. You got people talking about the coaches. You got people talking about certain players on the team, people, all this other stuff. I'm not saying that nobody ever says anything bad about that. What I'm saying is for what he has not produced over his career, he does not get the type of negative talk that he could get because we've seen quarterbacks get drugged a lot worse than Dak Prescott in the media. So I'm not saying nobody talks about it because he is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So obviously he's going to be brought up. But he could be getting drugged a lot worse than what he has been with what he's produced in the postseason.
Yo, cool. You know that the national media still talks about Dak Prescott's contract. He's not even the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league right now.
Because he's a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
But why are they not talking about those quarterbacks?
That could be anybody. Because they're not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. They don't want to be America's team, but then every time somebody talks about the stuff on your team, you want to be, why are they talking about his contract? The contract ain't got to do with how you play on the field.
No, it's about
the one contract they need to be talking about is Kirk Cousins' contract.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray.
Nothing.
You know, those are high-paid quarterbacks, and
they got rid of Dalvin Cook. And you know good and well Dalvin Cook was part of that offense because now you put everything on. I like Madison. You know, he's a good backup.
Hey, can I say one thing? Dak owns filthy. I'm going to put my link in the chat. I want you to come on my show on Wednesday so I can destroy you, right? Because you got a lot of little crap to say in the chat. But let's get you on camera and let me put a verbal whooping on you that you did real quick. So I'm gonna put my link in the chat, and I want to see you Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. EST, and I'm gonna give you the work like you never gotten before, and then you're gonna shut your mouth in these chats.
We gonna keep it clean.
Go ahead. No, keep it clean. I ain't got. I don't have to curse at nobody.
Yeah, I
You
know.
get a verbal action like you need.
I don't know what they saying. There's so many.
I can't.
They
troll
a coward. So I want you to come on camera and get that whooping that's coming for you, buddy.
I can't see him either because only when Key pulls it up, I try to read it. But
it's not about being mad. It's not about being mad, but you need to be set straight. You can't do it here, but I can do it when I can see you face to face.
He said, "Question for the panel: if Dak were to be traded, what team would?" I mean, dude. I mean, this team's gonna want Dak.
Really answer that question. Like, whoever needs a QB will go. Will
They're not gonna trade him.
Yeah, he's not gonna get traded.
He got a no trade clause in his contract.
Yeah, they're not gonna trade him. And he's not gonna agree to be traded anywhere that's gonna be looking
Mark,
for
before we move on, is it Dak or Hurts that has more pressure?
Ooh, man. Honestly, I'm gonna say both. And here's why. Because Hurts is the NFC East champion and he went to the Super Bowl. And if he's trying to get there, and I understand Hurts do play well under pressure and he's very calm, cool, collected. But if they don't make it back, what does that do to the team or his self-confidence? Not saying that it'll shatter it, but I think he's hungry enough. He's younger to get back there. You know what I'm saying? He went through every adversity when he was in college, which I seen him play at Alabama. I saw him play at Oklahoma. So I follow these guys, but I think the pressure to get back, because nobody has ever went back, is going to be, and they got a target on their back. Don't make no mistake. Philly has a target on their back. Everybody's coming for them. You know, everybody's coming for them. So with that being said, I think the pressure is on Philly. And also with Dak, I think the pressure is on Dak. I think he's going to have an MVP type year. He's going to have that year to get the critics off of him. You know, he's going to have to put this team deeper in the playoffs. They don't get deep in the playoffs. They might get past the first round and that's it. Mike McCarthy and Dak going to have to find a way with Schottenheimer. They're going to have to find a way to get to the NFC East on the NFC championship game. They got to get to the next step because you can't have these great records every year, these 12-5s, 11-4s, or 12-3s, whatever the case might be, and then don't make it past the second round of the playoffs. And then the same thing, you added more pieces. You got a phenomenal defense over there. You done added weapons to your arsenal. Now it's time to go. You see what Philly did. They built around Jalen Hurts, and they got him. They've got there. Now it's time for Dallas and Dak to do that. If Dak start throwing out these interceptions, I don't care if they tip, they drop from the airplane or whatever the case might be, and somebody pick it off, they still count as interceptions. Dak gonna have to realize that he is the face of Dallas right now. He's the face of that team, and he's going to have to take it another step further. Just like any other quarterback, like Patrick Mahomes. Same thing that Josh Allen gonna be going through the same thing. Yeah. He's gonna be going through the same thing because guess what? They got that team built a certain way, and you can't get over the hump. And I said this, and I'm not trying to be funny about it. I said this: if Dak doesn't do it this year, going into that next season will probably be his final year. They're gonna find a way to move on from him. Because they're not going to continue to. Jerry going to keep going subpar. He did it with Tony Romo. He rolled Tony Romo until he had to draft a quarterback. I don't think Jerry waits that long with that in that same sense. If he'd see that there's somebody in the draft that he could bring in, maybe that'll light something under him. I don't know, but I think both of the quarterbacks had pressure. one more than the other though.
I just got a quick question. I'm not saying Coles does it, but majority of the Dallas fans that I know, why do y'all always gotta run to the Super Bowls that y'all have to see on VHS and dust them off to see? Why do y'all always run to that narrative? Oh, we got 5 Super Bowls. So what? What does that? That doesn't mean anything. Patriots got 6. 49ers got 5. Pittsburgh got 6. Like, what? That doesn't mean because we got 5, we got to catch up. It doesn't matter. Like that narrative is so old. I'm sorry, I just had to put that out there. The narrative
because we get tired of doing the VHS.
We got one.
We gotta say something to get back at y'all. Y'all talking about
the tired of the bronze rings and VHS tape talk. I feel it. Hey.
We get tired of hearing that. So we gotta tell y'all, hey, we got 5. Y'all gotta catch up to this. Y'all gotta come up there with us. But I mean, that's just how it is. You know, we hang. Now I witnessed 3. You know what I'm saying? I can hang on that one.
Now the Cowboys the diehard Cowboys fans, I don't troll as much as the bandwagoner Cowboy fans. I'm like, well, how many did you see? Who's your quarterback? Like the Doles, I play them all the time. I get them. Now the diehard Cowboys fans, I respect the hell out of y'all. Like it's nothing but all love. We talk trash. That's all we do. It's nothing personal. I hate the ones that make it personal.
You doing that?
The ones that make it personal is the ones that are like, why you got to go so deep? We only talking about football. We will never be one of these athletes. We just rep the team and talk about them because we passionate about our team. Like, why do you got to go low blows, talk about people's families and this and that? And I'm a kid. You shouldn't have to go to blows for all that. But anyway, I just had to throw that out there. You know, y'all do gotta, take the VHS. You know, you gotta put it in the VCR. You know, they don't even make VCRs no more. Remember, you had to push the button to rewind it back on the VCR. But anyway, let's go to this top 100 list here. Starting off at number 94, Terry McLaurin. Before we get in the top 100 list, it gets decided in November, and it's from the players only. So there's no media, no fans. It's all players, peer-to-peers that plays each other all the time. They play against each other all the time.
Can we talk about number 100?
Huh?
Can we talk about number 100?
94 was Terry McLaurin, and I ain't gonna lie. I thought he would be a little higher than that. That was kind of disrespectful to me. Martin, 94, Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, that's all right disrespectful. I mean, the dude had 1,000 yards every season with no quarterback. And I think he's one of the top wide receivers in the NFC, maybe in the NFL. I mean, but like he said on the pivot, he said if he gets, because they say that Brian Clark asked him, do he think he's top 5? He said he's top 10. He said depends on how things go with the quarterback position, being stabilized. He said he sees himself top 5. I agree with him. I just think that number 94 is just too low for him. You know what I'm saying? I think there's guys that he should move up over, but it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hash too much in it. I just think Terry is that guy. He's going to prove himself. He's that dog. We seen him play. We don't see him burn people. We don't see him catch over people. We know what kind of guy he is. But, it's these media people that make these polls and vote and all that stuff. And, Washington has been the laughing stock for the last 20-something years. So people don't expect for us to do anything, regardless of we got great players or not. So therefore, hey, but like I say, once we come out the gate and we start making noise on a year in and year out basis, then our players get respect.
Hey, but this is a voting by the players, though. This ain't media.
Well, I don't know what players voted because
everybody right.
Because they definitely got that wrong then.
For what it's worth, Terry McLaurin has been going through quarterback situations and still managed to put up 1,000 yards every year.
Exactly.
But I can say the same thing for Brandon Cooks as well. But Coles, so we got DeMarcus Lawrence at 99. Just going down this here.
I want to know what was he ranked last year? Was he ranked last year?
I didn't. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't.
I don't know if he was ranked last year.
We got Zach Martin at 68.
Yeah.
We got Trayvon Diggs 60. Dak Prescott 56. Tony Pollard right under that at 55. And then you have.
Wait, stop. Hold up. You got Tony Pollard ahead of Terry McLaurin?
As far as the running back, yeah. I mean, yeah. Tony Pollard, yeah.
CeeDee Lamb is 34.
I'm about to mute.
CeeDee Lamb was an all-pro, man. He was an all-pro, man. You got to give him that.
So you think about your list, Coles? Your Cowboys been higher, lower? What do you think?
I'm cool with. I'm not mad about DeMarcus Lawrence. That's just a chip that can be his chip on his shoulder. I want him to have that. Maybe he can. He had a good year last year. He did good. Zach Martin was a bit disrespectful. It was. I think he should have been higher. I mean, that dude. He already got his spot in the Hall of Fame just waiting on him. You know what I'm saying? He should have been a little bit higher. I want to know what other guard higher than him. I didn't really look at the whole list, so I don't know if any other guards was ranked above him. But if they were, that's definitely a low blow. CeeDee Lamb is where he's at. Dak Prescott, I feel like, man, this is the only reason I feel kind of skeptical about Dak Prescott. I think he should have been higher. I think he should have been in the place where Kirk Cousins is. Because Kirk Cousins is ranked higher than Dak Prescott in the top 100. And then they got Lamar Jackson way in the bottom, man. So, I'm kind of
Lamar is at 72, and everybody else is in front of Lamar.
The
only person behind Lamar is T-Law.
Right.
Did they have AI people voting for these?
So that's the only thing that got me scratching my head is the quarterbacks. Because I'm like, okay, y'all got Lamar Jackson. And I was like, I get Lamar because he been injured a lot and he didn't really play in the playoffs. So maybe they, dipped him down a little bit because of that. But then you got Kirk Cousins over Dak. And I'm like, really? But, I'm not. Hey, these are the players. This is what they think. So I just want our players to have that chip on their shoulder and then show off in the season and make them,
Terry McLaurin need to make a list of everybody who voted.
At least Michael Parsons will be in the top 10. They haven't done the top 10 yet, and he will be in the top 10 list.
Of course, he better be in the top 10. Top 5.
All right, cool. So we got Smitty at number 100. Then you got Darius Slay at 65. Coming down, 48 is Hassan Reddick. 41 is Lane Johnson. 37 is Travis Kelce. 22, AJ Brown. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts is going to be in the top 10. You agree, Dad, disagree? Should it be higher? Should it be lower?
Devontae Smith got disrespected. He's a top 10 in receptions last year, and you barely made the top 100. But you know what? Like my man Cole's Cowboys said, motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of crying about it, but hey, these cats think you barely make the top 100 players in the league, and you top 10 in receptions for the season. So what you do? Make a list of the people who voted because they say all the players voted. So every cornerback that you play, every safety that you play, oh, you think I'm 100 best player in the league? I'm about to bust 200 on you. I'm about to make fantastic catches over you, these toe line catches on the side and all this. I'm about to show you that I'm 100. Since you say I'm 100, I'm gonna show you what 100 look like. I mean, that's what you do. I think Reddick, it's a little low for Reddick. I think Kelsey's a little high based off of his career merits. I think he could be a little bit lower, and it wouldn't be bad, right? Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I'm fine with rankings. I like AJ Brown debuting at 22. I definitely think he had a huge impact this season, and he proved he's a really good wide receiver and a really good player in the league. I just don't think the gap between him and Devontae Smith was that many spots. But like I say, you use it for motivation. If you AJ Brown, I'm 22, but I'm not top 20. Y'all didn't vote me top 20. I want to be top 20. You get top 20, I want to be top 10. You know what I'm saying? Use this and whatever else you can get for motivation. Wherever you rank there on the list, feel like you should be higher and use it for motivation. All the motivation you can get for an 18-game season and hopefully playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's not on this list is Danny Dimes.
Man, he better not been on that list.
Where it's supposed to be, man. And I just hate that. I'm just surprised that they gave him the big contract and not Saquon.
That's a shock.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing.
Yeah, Key, you missed one person too, Jonathan Allen. He's on that list too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad.
He is. Of course, he got to be on that list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, boy. The disrespect is so real, boy. Oh, I should make a shirt say, "Don't disrespect us. We coming."
Yeah, one thing about Washington, it's hard. It's hard.
And then Big Deron Payne.
Was he on the list?
No, I don't think he on the list. I don't think he made the list. Yeah, and he had almost 12 sacks last year.
I was gonna say he had a good season. When we played y'all the first go round, Pollard and Zeke couldn't get no yards on y'all. Like we had to throw the ball in that game.
Yeah, who y'all had? DiNucci in it? Yeah.
No, we had Cooper Rush, and I was like,
yeah, Cooper Rush. I was like,
if we can't grow in this thing, it's gonna be a problem. But CeeDee Lamb showed out, and the defense stepped up. But man, we could not run on y'all.
And the thing about it is like we didn't even have Chase, and everybody else that we plugged in Chase spot stepped up because we had our best year in sacks. I think we had almost 30 sacks last year.
Yeah.
And now that Chase is back, that's why I said now we got a secondary that could really cause problems. This is where I want to see the team take off at. You know what I'm saying? Because last year we was close. You know what I'm saying? We just had some little issues here and there. Our offensive line was really bad. I mean, like we had to like mask it up to run the ball and play action out of it. And good thing we did have Taylor Heineke that could get out the pocket a little bit because who knows if we had kept Carson Wentz, he probably would have led the league in 1,000 sacks.
Oh, we know what would happen.
It was crazy. I mean, I love Charles Leno, but he was getting his lunch handed to him. Speaking of Charles Leno, shout out to Charles. He's about to have a baby boy soon. So,
hey, I got a question for you, Cole.
Good.
So a lot of people have been running around last year saying that when Dak came back, that y'all should have ran a similar offense for Dak, like you did for Cooper Rush, and that would fit his game better. Do you think that if y'all had ran a similar offense that you did when Cooper Rush was in the game, that Dallas would have been any better than they were last year? Or do you think you have to change when you have the better quarterback in the game?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when we always like blank Killer Moore things, it's because of his game scheme. Sometimes his game scheme was a little bit too complicated, and it didn't match what Dak Prescott's strengths. So we all know Dak Prescott's strengths is our play action pass. We run the ball to set up play action. That's why people call him dink and dunk Dak when he was having a good season. I believe we should have did it. That's what we wanted. We wanted to stick to just 12 and 13 personnel, dinking it up, dumping it off to the tight ends, running the ball effectively. It worked for him. The Kellen Moore wanted to get, cute, go back to 11 personnel, spread it out, and want to just throw deep balls all the time. That's not Dak Prescott's game. Dak Prescott is not successful throwing the ball 40, 35 times a game. You have to even it out for him. So I believe if I wanted us to stick to, keeping it kind of simple, which that's what we're doing now. But yeah, I mean, the game plan, the option routes, all that crap, it was just too complicated. Matter of fact, with Hurts, we can go back to whenever Sirianni was calling plays. He was running the game scheme that didn't match Hurts, and that's why he wasn't good until Steichen picked up the play calling and ran with his strength, running the ball, setting up RPO. That's his strength. That's something they got from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And input into the game plan. So, yeah, it's all about keeping it simple. I like to keep the game simple. It also helped the wide receivers as well.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just heard a lot of people. I know the Cowboys fans were talking about that last year. So yeah. I figured, since you seem to really know your stuff and not be just the rah-rah Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl every year, I'd ask you
So
a serious question. You know what I'm saying?
so I was with JC, man. Me and JC Sports. I don't know if you did. We did a live stream, man. He tried to talk me off the ledge when we lost our first game, man. I was like, man, we ain't been.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, because we sit here in the preseason, right? And you talk about the team. You're like, yeah, we're going to win 13 games, 14 games. I mean, I've heard people say their team's going to be like, 16-1, 15-2.
Yeah.
Right. And then you lose a game you lose about 2 games that you thought you was going to win. And it's over.
That's how it is.
It's over.
Oh. That's why I said we're going to lose to the Lions. I said we're going to lose. We probably might lose one to the Lions. That'll be the games you think we'll win. That's up and lose, man.
Yeah.
Those be the trap games that you like.
Yep.
The games you're supposed to win, but you don't. Like we're gonna have one of them on our schedule, and I don't know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be somebody stupid. I'm just like watching it be like
always like
it again.
I'm just hoping when that happens that we win one of those games I thought we was gonna lose too, so to balance out. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I picked us to lose against the 49ers.
Yeah, that's why I picked the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let me at least get full L's up in here.
Oh, I really picked the 49ers as a loss because I said I'd rather lose to these jokers in the regular season and beat them in the playoffs, man. I don't care about that regular season.
And I think the 49ers are coming out with everything in their playbook to beat us. Them jokers going to come out there and die on the field to win that game.
The players want it more than the fans at this point.
And it's going to be in Philly, but I'm actually going to be going to that game.
I need to call out Fred Warner and his wife. I'm sorry. When she described what goes down in Lincoln Financial, she was fabricating her ass off. Ain't no way. Talking about something we can't wear red. Excuse me. You know how many Cowboys fans get ridiculed and criticized when they come in and link with their Cowboys jersey? Same thing with the Giants. Same thing with Washington. It ain't nothing like Fred Warner's wife said. They don't go down like that. It don't go down like that.
They don't do that in 49ers land, man.
They be over sensationalizing things. That's what the West Coast teams. That's how they do that. They're a different breed of families out there, bro. They do things a little different out there. They don't understand that real. You know what I'm saying? You and our team. It don't matter if you got on red, purple, orange, yellow. You ain't wearing an Eagles jersey, and you clapping when something happened for whatever team we playing. So yeah, you gonna get a little talk.
Oh yeah,
that's how I go.
That's how it is.
If you go anywhere, you're going to get a little talk.
Right. Imagine Eagles wearing their green in Dallas. I'm sure
not in Dallas.
Dallas fans be looking like, excuse me? Like,
Dallas fans are not going to be like, oh, guys, hey, it's okay.
They nice in Dallas. I wish we had that home field advantage where we can just pump people out. Nah, they welcome you with open arms, buying you a beer, a Cowboy reader, and all that stuff. I'm inviting you to the tailgate. They don't have that type of stuff in Dallas. Now, back when the old stadium was at the Texas Stadium,
Veterans Stadium, that's different. We the only stadium that had damn jail and courthouse in it.
That was a y'all there. I told you.
But I appreciate the NFC guys coming on here. You know, I'm going to try to do more divisions. So look out soon. Again, just because I rep all the Philly teams don't mean I don't just talk Philadelphia. I don't. I know I bring talk about everything else. So I appreciate the chat. Y'all was great. I know half y'all are from Cole's side. Cole's, tell the peoples that's not already in your channel where they can find you at.
Oh yeah, y'all can find me Cole's Cowboys on YouTube and Twitter. We also running the Enemy Class podcast Sundays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We actually doing a roundtable next week. So come on, chime in 7:30 Eastern time as we chop it up with another roundtable.
Cool. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, of course, you can find me on Sports Empire Network. Tomorrow at, I believe it's 6:30. We'll have the, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Key, but that will be the Cheap Seats podcast, right?
Cheap Seats.
Yeah. And then Tuesday, you can find me on the Line in the Sand podcast, also on Sports Empire Network at 9:30. Wednesday, youtube.com/@Eagles Elite Podcast. We talk all things Philadelphia Eagles. We do season reviews. We're normally at 8:30 p.m. But this week, we're either going to pre-tape the show or we're going to do it around 10. I've got to get a confirmation from my co-host. But be on the lookout. We're definitely going to be doing that, and we're definitely going to be talking Philadelphia Eagles because that's what we do. Then Thursday, I'll be doing Birds Deep, and Friday, playcallersportstalk.com/live will be my live show. We talk all things NFL, college football, all things basketball, pro and college. And then at 10 a.m. on WQZY, I believe it's 99.1 in Atlanta. We'll have our Play Caller Sports Talk show there on the radio station. So if you have an opportunity, go just Google 99.1 in Atlanta. It'll pop up the website. You can hop on at 10 a.m. Just check us out, man. A little more talk about basically football and basketball. So have a good time, talk some sports. I know a lot of people try to say every time a Philly fan says something or raises their voice that they're being an angry, crazy person. But hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But know how to talk sports. That's what I do.
All right, Martin, tell them peoples where they can find you at.
Well, first, before I do that, I have a major announcement. By the end of this week, I will be a column contributor for Horace Haven, for who writes for Fansided. I will be writing Commanders content for them. So I just got on with them. So that's something exciting I've been looking forward to do. So I know none of y'all will be picking up any Commanders articles to be reading, but hey. But you can also find me on Mondays. I do the Commanders, the aftermath, everything from preseason to the regular season. On Tuesdays, I do the Miami Hurricanes, everything Miami Hurricanes. They in training camp right now. So plus you can find me on YouTube at Livewire Sports Entertainment, but it's abbreviated LWSNE. And you can find me on Twitter as Livewire Sports 1 and Instagram Livewire Sports. So, and then also you can always find me on These Great People panel. Anytime they need somebody standing, I'm always available. So I'm always around. Just, stop through, check me out, subscribe, and, hey.
Oh, me and Martin forgot one place. We both forgot it. On Saturday nights, every week during the football season.
Oh, yeah.
The NFC Beast podcast.
NFC Beast podcast. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Forgot about that as well. You can find that on Martin's page, my page, BS3 Network, and Shady Sports Network, all these different places. So, yeah. We're doing a little something. You know what I'm saying? Not too much, but a little something.
Cole, I know I just met you and everything, but I know I might when we play y'all, I think we play y'all the first game Thanksgiving, so we would definitely link up with you do a preview game. So so definitely I want to make sure you don't go home with no turkey.
Oh, hey.
I thought it's gonna be a fun game to watch y'all play, man. I like the divisional games. Our divisional games are always good.
Yeah, it is, man.
It be going back and forth. As for me, if y'all have not known, my name is Key, and I'm always in the building. Y'all can always find me anywhere. Sports Empire Network. Key in the building is my name. Twitter, IG, YouTube. Again, I do cover Philadelphia content, but I just don't do just Philly. I talk everything else. Big wrestling fan as well. Check out Line in the Sands on the Sports Empire Network if you're a big wrestling fan, with myself and Cool McCain and the others over there. Going to be doing some more roundtables. Going to be doing some Eagles games hopefully this year. Definitely going to be doing that Cowboys games, Cole. So when it's time to link up again, I'm going to hit you up. Definitely we can talk as well. So I'm going to need more Commanders fan. Definitely going to hit up Martin. Big Simple, you already know. We definitely got to talk and hook up. But point me to some Giants fans because I need them too. I don't know no Giants fans. I'm just like, as the season go, I want to definitely make sure we get all the teams together. Just yuck it up, chat it up.
I know a couple of solid Giants fans, but they just want to be on today. But I know a couple.
So I'm like, I would have loved the Giants fan up here today. Well, I couldn't talk nothing Giants because I didn't have a representative. So but it is what it is. And again, I appreciate y'all for coming on hanging out. We definitely was a blast. Again, everybody in the chat was great. We kept it cool, professional. Ain't nobody get too blasphemous and go personal. I hate that. NFC East is a rivalry. Period. We all know Eagles and Dallas is like we can't. It's like oil and water. They don't mix. So
only on Twitter.
But y'all already know. So Cole, smart and cool. Definitely, I appreciate y'all. Any last final words y'all gotta say for y'all team? Bold predictions.
Yeah, I got last words. I miss the days when it was just when the St. Louis or the Arizona Cardinals used to be in our division, because that's one team that we all used to beat up on. No matter what. No,
2 wins a year.
Yeah. That was automatic 2 wins all the time. I was just sitting here thinking about it. I said, man, what's the Arizona Cardinals in our division right now?
We're smoking them.
Man, but nah, man, I think it's gonna be a great NFL season. I just love to see what's everything. I think the AFC is gonna be crazy over there. I think Aaron Rodgers got his hands full. I really do. I don't think that's easy sledding over there. But as for our division, our conference, it's gonna be a dogfight.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a dogfight.
I know about Bad Dog Sports, but I know the big time YouTubers don't be wanting to hang out and chat with a little person like me, So, but I'll definitely try to reach out to Bad Dog. Like I know his content. He's a great guy.
Live streams with a lot of people. Him and
Entertainer.
Yeah,
them two.
I know a lot of Giants fans though. I get.
So, but no, if you definitely like wrestling, again, Sports Empire Network number on Tuesday nights. Make sure y'all tune in this Tuesday because it's gonna be lit. Because I got some things to say about some. Oh my god! So, but no,
last night was trash.
Again, I usually do the on my channel. I usually do the watch parties. Last night we were going crazy on the watch party. So also I do the wrestling giveaways monthly. All you gotta do is send me your picks, predictions. You get a shirt. I already did 2 so far. So I'm trying to get more people involved, and I'm trying to have fun with it. Get more people that way, subscribers. But I'm not all about the I want to get monetized. No, I do this for fun. I love it. I love entertaining and interacting with everybody. So if you want to get into that, just hit me up. Put you in the drawing for next month. It will be what's next? What's that? Payback. So if you want to get into the payback giveaway, I do the live streams, the watch parties. But again, I appreciate y'all for coming on. Again, we gotta do this again sometime. Maybe when in the middle of the season, we can come back and be, what we think about our teams halfway through the season. We can definitely come back and talk about that. But we're gonna get on out of here. Everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. And love, peace, and hair grease. And if you're gonna do something dumb, just be safe about it. I don't want nobody get hurt. We see y'all. We gonna
put my name in it.
Right? Y'all be safe, man.
Peace, y'all.